is of a classic 1979 sci-fi horror movie, Alien, the original Alien, theatrical cut of Alien. It's an hour and 56 minutes, so it's under 2 hours, so that's good. It's a very slow burn, so bear with me. Tom Skerritt. He's going to be at Comic Con this year. Sigourney Weaver? No, I don't think she's going to be there. This is the original. Veronica Cartwright. She's from Alien. She's going to be there as well. Harry Dean Stanton. No, may he rest in peace. There's a lot of actors in this movie that are no longer with us. John Hurt. May he rest in peace. And Ian Holm. And Yafakato. And a bunch of other people. Sad, but there's only like 3 actors left from this franchise. And also Jerry Goldsmith, may he rest in peace as well. Not Ridley Scott, we still have him. It's just he's not making good movies anymore. He hasn't made a good movie in years, guys. I think the last good movie I saw with him was Gladiator, the first one. Not that stupid sequel we got last year, which I skipped entirely. I haven't seen Romulus, but I'm going to watch it on Disney Plus in July or August. Walter Hill produced this. He also did, The Warriors, Alien. You don't see the creature for a while, so like I said, it's a very slow burn. Even when the ship is going slowly, it's like Star Wars, because this came out a few years after Star Wars. The Nostromo, 7 people crew, cargo refinery processing 200 million tons of mineral ore. Of course, returning to Earth. Yeah, they don't get to Earth. Sorry. Not to the next movie, I think. I haven't seen Aliens in a while, so don't quote me on that. And I've not seen the director's cut of this or Aliens, so if I do see them, I'll tell you how I feel about it. I'm just doing the original, not AVP, not Alien Romulus, not Covenant, not Prometheus, just the original. Because that's the only one I own. I have Resurrection, but I could do that some other time. This movie still looks amazing, even after almost 50 years, because it was 1979. Wait, that was 50-something years ago, right? Let's see, 89, 99, 2009, 2019. Yes, about 40-something years old. So 2000, it's like 46 years old. It'll be 50 years in 2029. This movie did not have a $200 million budget. And every movie has been trying to ride this movie and Aliens, schlong since like 1992 when Alien 3 came out. You can't be the original. Don't ever try to be the original because you're going to fail. That's why Jurassic World Rebirth, while it'll make money, it's not, what I've heard, it's not the original Jurassic Park. Sorry. You'll never be the original. You got to be your own thing. Don't try to copy what they did in the past because you're going to fail. This is why the originals will always be the originals. You can't touch them. They were made at a time where budgets were not astronomical, movies were not 4 hours long, and they had actual actors, not singers, rappers, and models, and freaking, celebrity influencers as actors. This is amazing, man. I got this movie at Best Buy years ago for like $3 because it was on sale. So I'm like, I'm going to do a podcast for it. Why not? I heard the commentary already. This is one of Ridley Scott's at least top 5 best films. This, Gladiator, Blade Runner, the original. I haven't seen some of his other films, but, at least the top 3, I know what they are. But he lost his mind. He's like almost 90 years old, and he's not the director he used to be. This is a movie that had subtlety and visual storytelling and slow movements of the camera. It's not throwing everything in your face. And there's no CGI in this movie or in Blade Runner. I'm good. Ben plays Ani, whatever your name is. I'll just say Ben. I'm just doing Alien. because I was gonna do this months ago, but some things came up. There were some technical difficulties, but not this time. And while this is a longer movie than something borrowed, it's only a few minutes longer. It's not an hour longer. Because if Ridley Scott did this today, this movie would be 2.5 hours. Here's our crew of 7 people in like white diapers. They all die except for Ellen Ripley and the cat. That's it. It's directed by a Brit. Of course, it's going to have Brits in there because they have to pander to their own people. I don't do that. I'm of color, and I don't just put people of color in a play that I directed. Any day over the recent films. Yeah, I didn't seek Romulus because I heard the fan service was completely forced in there. Yeah, because they can't tell their own story. They start that way, but then they go completely crazy saying, get away from her, you bitch. And they have to show a CGI Ian Holm. Why? Nobody wanted that. You don't have to give fan service in every movie based on an old franchise. You can do your own thing. You don't have to copy. Nobody likes to copy. Foreshadowing. Yafakato was the most recent to die because he died a couple years ago. I miss him, man. I do. That's a real cat too. It's not CGI like in the Captain Marvel or the Marvels. It's the same kind of cat. It's an orange cat like Goose. I saw the Comic-Con list today, but it was a little bit disappointing. There's some big names going, and just I wanted more. Hopefully, they'll have more people they add later. But I'm a little bit let down. But again, this year has been kind of a disappointment. Not the worst, because 2020 will always be the worst. There was no Comic-Con, so I had to do one in my basement. But I want more out of the second half of this year. Hopefully, Superman will give me what I want, because I definitely want to see that in the theater in 2 weeks. Because this means so much to me. And Josh was like, I'm the bigger fan. I was born first, Josh, so I saw him first. Me, I was born first. I got to experience the Christopher Reeve movies before you were even born. I didn't see Supergirl until I was an adult, or the animated series years later. But at least as an adult, as a kid, I saw those movies before you. The theatrical cut of 2 and etc. I'm the bigger fan. Sorry, I got the cape, I got the hat, I got all the movies on DVD, the 5 films, and I got a ton of DC animated films. So I'm the bigger fan. I don't just say it, I am it. Interface 2037. Well, that year hasn't happened yet. And this is what Ian Holm did before Lord of the Rings. You could never make this movie again. Romulus, just what it missed the point of in the second half is that it's trying to be the original, and you're not the original. You don't have the original cast. Again, don't care. That ship looks amazing, by the way. The H.R. Giger designs in this movie are fantastic, and he also passed away, so you're never gonna get that. Just be your own thing. You know what I liked about the the MCU over some of the Fox X-Men and Fantastic Four movies. They did their own thing. They weren't copying that style. They weren't. They did their own thing and they made billions of dollars for it. Now Marvel won't be the same now because of what happened with the Thunderbolts flopping. It was their biggest flop of the past 2 years. Again, because nobody cared. Say what you will about Quantumania and the Marvels, it had personality. Yeah, it had personality. For it had jokes and it had people that were wanted to be there. Thunderbolts, half of these people just now sound dead. Look how isolated this movie is. I couldn't be in space for days. I would go nuts. It's nuts to be on Earth all year. Unknown Origin. I haven't seen that movie yet. Because I have the other films. I have Alien Resurrection, Requiem, but I don't have the other ones. There's a lot of films in this franchise. And I refuse to see Covenant again. That movie's so terrible. It's one of the most pointless sequels that they've ever done. Because it doesn't make Prometheus better. It makes it worse. Because your lead character that survived dies off screen. Half of the cast from the last movie aren't there. The new cast members don't save it. They brought new characters and they all suffer at the end. And Im Holmes not even human. He's an android. But that was a twist that we didn't see in the trailer. Nowadays, everything has to be spoiled in the trailer. They have to show the alien. They have to show a twist. They have to show all the plot points. I'm like, guys, I'm not stupid, okay? Do one thing at a time. You don't have to do. If you did a sequel to Ice Pirates, I know it's impossible because the lead died. But if they did that, I don't need to see everything in the trailer. Sorry. There we go. That looks amazing. Look at that. No CG for that for the planets and the Nostromo. The Nostromo. I still haven't seen Prometheus. I think it's on Disney Plus through Hulu, so I'm probably going to watch it in the summer, but I'm not doing a podcast for it. It's pretentious because it's like I choose to believe it. This franchise was never about belief. It was about space travel and an alien hostile creature that attacks people. That's all it's about. There's no allegory here. It's space. There are no beliefs in space, guys. There's nothing up there. You know what's up there? The sun, the moon, the stars, galaxies, planets, and just dead nighttime for all eternity. That's all that's in space. There's no buildings up there. And there's a space station, maybe. And a satellite. That's all you got. There are no people in space. Just to let you know. Because on this planet, everybody has to shove their agendas in your face. Not in space. That's why it fascinates me so much. Because it's quiet up there. That music is amazing, yeah. It's another thing that these new movies don't have. Jerry Goldsmith's amazing score. He co-worked with yeah, he co-did the music with another guy. It doesn't say it on the back. Yeah, and this is what Sigourney Weaver did before she was in Ghostbusters and Avatar, which I'm sorry, both Ridley Scott and what's her fate? Well, he didn't waste her, but uh, James Cameron wasted this woman. He put her in Aliens, and she was great in that. And then she's in Avatar. She's a blue cat. Again, that's not interesting. She's old now. Stop wasting Sigourney Weaver's career on blue cats or whatever color cats are going to be in the next one. Nobody cares anymore. These movies are boring. Alien at least is a cult is a classic. It's not a cult classic. It's a classic. And Aliens, they're gonna live forever. Your Avatar movies are gonna be forgotten, Cameron, and also Gladiator 2. Ridley Scott thought that that was his gonna be his next magnum opus, and it's just another failure. CGI animals when the original had real tigers, not CGI. Sorry, but CG and AI can't tell a good story. Human hands can. Here they go. They're landing. We're 16 minutes in. I don't want to just complain the whole time. I'm just letting that out. There's a lot of atmosphere in this movie, and movies nowadays have to throw everything in your face within the first 5 minutes. I have ADHD, guys, but I'm not stupid. You don't have to. You don't have to throw everything in my face in the first 5 minutes of the movie. I can wait a little bit. Space Jam: A New Legacy didn't get crazy until about the 25-minute mark. I saw this movie when I was a kid. I didn't see the unrated, the uncut version until I was an adult. Look, a lens flare. This movie just looks like an actual movie. I'm sick of films looking like a CGI cartoon when it's not animated. Animation, they have an excuse, but in live action, it just looks awful. When everything has to be a computer generated image instead of just something that actually on screen. This is why the 2011 thing failed. This is why Alien Covenant was underperformed. Because they can't do anything practical anymore. Everything's got to be a digital green screen. I ain't got no green screen here. You see any green screen here? No. So I don't need that to make a good video. And even though this is a slow burn until the alien shows up, it's still interesting. Like nowadays, movies are just long and boring, and they're over 2 hours. This, yeah, the director's cut is 2 hours, but unlike the original theatrical cut was not. Of course, the Brits die in this movie. Ridley Scott's not going to be biased. This is a genre film that has a budget, a decent budget, a good cast mostly, and atmosphere, and it's under 2 hours if you count the theatrical cut. See, that was the first sign that we felt about Ian Holm. There was something off about him. Like, yeah, he's a machine. And yes, I did see the gameplay of Alien Isolation. That game is scary because the xenomorph is already there on the ship, and you don't see it coming. Like this thing just slowly walks and then chases you in the game. It's terrifying. There we go. I'm gonna do a lot of sci-fi movies this summer. Just only the first Alien though, because I don't want to do this as a long franchise, and I don't own them all. See, he's acting weird, and then when he attacks one of the crew members, I'm like, why is he? Is he the villain? I'm like, no, he's not the villain. He's just he's programmed. He's not human. But this would have been spoiled in the trailer if this movie came out in the like the last 5 years. 'Cause everything has to be spoiled. That's why they shouldn't have showed the Red Hulk in Captain America. That should have been a surprise in the movie. Ellen, her name is Ellen. I wonder why people call people by their last name. Exactly, foreshadowing. Also, back then, women could star in a movie and it was not a big deal. Now, everything has to be about gender politics. And I don't live for that, guys. I'm sorry. I don't. If you're gonna put a woman or a man as a lead, don't dwell on it. Just do it. It's a good shot. I connect with people because I'm human. I'm not trying to be an alien. I don't suppress my emotions. I can't do that all the time. If I get emotional with Superman, I'll cry and let people see it. I'll take a picture of myself crying like, and yeah, and I'll post it on Facebook because I'm like, this. That's how much that movie's gonna mean to me. Just like Deadpool and Wolverine. I wasn't expecting to cry at the end of that, but I was emotionally invested. And when you are, you're gonna feel something. No disorder can stop that. Autism doesn't stop your emotions. If you're a vegetable, then you feel nothing. But you're not a vegetable. You still have a beating heart. That kitty is so cute, but I can't touch it because unlike the alien, which isn't a real thing, a cat, I'm allergic to cats, so I can't pet them. That's why I have a puppy at home because I can pet her and pet her little ears. Plus, dogs are friendlier than cats. Cats like to be alone a lot. See, the face hugger doesn't show up until almost 30 minutes into the movie. But the exploration is cool. Those suits and the backgrounds, it's all there. It's real. Ridley Scott was not using CGI tricks until like the 2000s. Because even Blade Runner came out a few years after that, and that was a flop. But it got a cult following, and it became one of the most revered sci-fi movies of all time. That's why I'm going to do that one in the summer, but not in June. I'm going to probably do it in July or August or September. Because how long is Blade Runner? The original. I don't have 2049 yet, but I'm going to do it. I don't care if it flopped. I told Josh that doesn't matter to me. Because if a movie gets highly regarded and becomes a cult classic, Who is it hurting? Think about it. When Alien came out, it was like at the end of the decade, and some people got sick watching this in the theater because the chest burster scene, nobody saw it coming. That would have been spoiled in the trailer if they did it today, because everything has to be spoiled in the trailer. In Romulus, you see the face huggers going on people's faces like early, and then the chest bursters. They can't keep it in their pants anymore. Everything has to be done in right in their face. Um, but this has three commentaries. So yeah, I heard the first one, Ridley Scott. I haven't seen the one for the yeah. I have this one. I have to do. I'm gonna have to hear the commentary. There's a commentary for it. Yeah, that's fine. There's three of them. I've only heard two of them. The one with Ridley Scott and the one with the producers. I think. Yeah. I didn't know. That's why I'm gonna wait to do that one. Blade Runner. That's the final cut, the director's cut. Because the theatrical cut, I think, or one of the cuts, they have a narration which is cut. There's like 5 cuts of that movie. At least Alien, there was only 2, mainly. The theatrical cut, which I'm seeing right now, and the director's cut, which is a few minutes longer. Mm-hmm. This cut of Blade Runner is an hour and 57 minutes. Yeah. And Harrison Ford never worked with Ridley Scott again. I'm like, yeah, because Brits like to be perfectionists. You're not perfect. No filmmaker is. Not Christopher Nolan, not Peter Jackson, not Steven Spielberg, not Francis Ford Coppola. Look what he did last year. Not even directors from the past like Alfred Hitchcock. Some of his movies I don't like. A lot I do like. I like Psycho, The Birds, and Rear Window and Vertigo. But there's some films he did that just I'm not a fan of because they're just kind of boring. They're kind of dull. They're just very slow. And I never saw his the Alfred Hitchcock Hour or whatever that show he did. I didn't see that. Every great director has done a bad movie. Garrett Edwards has never done a great movie. Because Rogue One I hated. The Creator I didn't see, and I saw Godzilla 2014 in it. Godzilla should have been the main focus of the movie. 28 minutes in. Wow. Wowie, wow, wow. This is a really beautifully shot film. There's the was it one of the spacemen there. Yeah. I don't need an explanation for every movie that I see. I don't. Just tell a good story and I'll go with it. Look at that practical effect. Mm-hmm. The space jockeys, I think that's what they're called. Yeah, they had to explain in Prometheus they were just pilots. Wow. What a great discovery, huh? You you gave us answers to questions that we didn't ask. Sorry. That effect still looks amazing to this day, even 46 years later. Or at 45. Well, is it 45 or 46? I think it's 46 this year. Because it's actually on screen. It's not a CGI thing. That really is visually stunning, and it's just a model, but it looks great. Old cinema will always live forever. Yes, it will, superhero movie fan, because old films wanted to be films, not a cutscene from a video game. The Minecraft movie is a video game movie, so it doesn't count. Like, it's supposed to look cartoony and CG heavy. I get it, and the blocks are supposed to be in your face, but with some movies they look like a cutscene from a video game instead of an actual film. Because film is dead now; it's digital. Everything is digital, 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 digital. My DVD player is not digital. It only plays DVDs, Region 1 DVDs. My Blu-ray player is digital. My 4K, my Samsung TV is digital. This is absolutely stunning, man. And there were movies in the 80s that came out after this and also look amazing, like Galaxy of Terror. It's like a kind of a thing like Alien. It was Roger Corman's version of Alien. Not everything on cinema is going to work for me. I know, Josh, because you are afraid of a lot. You saw Theodore Rex. Of course, that's a terrible movie. I mean, it's a it's a freaking animatronic dinosaur ripped off of the Dinosaurs TV show from the '90s with Whoopi Goldberg, who doesn't want to be there. You can tell she doesn't want to be there, and it's a stupid movie. I thought that when I was a kid, before you were born. It's a bad movie. I knew it wasn't good. The voice actor is fine. He did Superman, George Newbern, but that he had to start somewhere. They're the eggs. hmm Even though this movie only has one alien, the sequel has a bunch of aliens. hmm And of course, Resurrection has a bunch of them, and AVP and Alien and Requiem and of course Alien Covenant, which went too much. They put too much heavy CGI on that. The xenomorphs never had to be CGI because they look scarier when they're on camera, moving and going. Yeah, this is a classic. Nobody can ever say otherwise. If they say it's overrated, that's their opinion, but there's a reason that this movie is in the top 250 lists on IMDb because it's better than all the other ones. It is. Prometheus couldn't wipe this movie's anus, or Covenant, or Romulus, which just came out last year. There's the egg. And yes, I'm going to touch it. Of course, I'm going to touch it because it's an alien. It's a form I've never seen before. Let me touch something I've never seen before. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. See, there it is. It's alive, and it's opening up. This opening up scene is amazing. Yeah, this is when the face hugger shows up. See, 33 minutes into the movie, we finally see something happening. The first 30 minutes was to set up the characters. That's awesome. It opens up like a Venus flytrap. Yeah, I'm gonna touch it and put my face in there. Yeah, because I'm stupid. That is awesome. Look at that. Oh man, I could see that for days. Yep, you're an idiot. Nobody told you to touch it. It's like in the Blob, where the original and the remake, where he uses a stick to try to see what the blob is and looks at it and it gets on his arm. Again, don't mess with alien beings. Just don't do it. Don't touch it. Don't look at it. Don't even approach it. I mean, besides ET, who's not hostile, most aliens are very toxic in cinema and in shows. This is what they did wrong in Dark Phoenix. Instead of getting the aliens and making them interesting, they got Jessica Chastain acting like a zombie, and I'm like, I know she's better than that. I know it. I've seen her act. Theodore Rex is terrible, but I don't need to rate. I don't need to rate it on Letterboxd to know that it's a bad movie. I saw when I was a kid, and I'm like, this is so cheap and stupid, and it was the most expensive direct-to-video movie of all time. Yeah, again, he's an idiot. It doesn't die because it puts what movie? What do you mean what movie? Yeah, she's right that it affects everybody, not by touch, but because it kills everybody on the ship except for her and the cat, because the cat runs away, and then she has it in the um hypersleep. This is just a classic. Like, you can't touch a classic. It doesn't make me cry like E.T. because, again, I'm not as emotionally invested in this as I am with E.T. Mainly because E.T. is not a body count movie. This is. Again, that was done practically. There's not any CG in this movie. It's um it's impregnating his mouth. What a horrible way to procreate, huh? This is why we don't procreate from the mouth. We do it in other areas. And they're wearing COVID masks. Well, in a way. And there's an infirmary because there's no hospitals in space. Finger. Yeah, you die too because you're not even human. But that's the thing. He's the only one that doesn't die from the alien. He dies. They knock his head off. I'm like, whoa, that I didn't see that coming. And he's spitting milk, which is that's probably the funniest thing in the movie because I'm like, he can't bleed blood because they don't want this movie to get an X rating because it's already violent. But it's hilarious that he's like, it's milk. You could tell it's milk. That's funny. That's one of the only scenes in the movie that's humorous because everything else is dead serious in this movie. But it's not a melodrama. That is awesome. And I saw this as a kid. I wasn't supposed to, but I did. Aliens, I didn't see until I was an adult. Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. I don't want those movies to scar me as a child. And of course AVP and AVPR and so on. It's inseminating him. Well, that happens anyway, so that is awesome. Yeah, it's like a spider that's going right into his face. Yep. It got acid for blood. And I've seen an alien at the Brooklyn Comic Con last year, and a predator as well. See, they still hold up today. Acidic blood. Yeah, the first to die is the British guy again, because it's not going to be the black guy. That'll be too cliche, even back in 1979. And he's not the comic relief either. Avocado's playing this straight. He's not a cartoon character. Yeah, at least my gums are not red anymore. That's cool. Yeah, the dinner scene, you don't see it coming. Like, he starts convulsing and then bleeds from the chest, and then the crust pressure bursts out. People got sick in the theater because they didn't see that coming. I was not born yet, so. Wait a minute. Hmm. I know, avocado. I wouldn't want to be in space that long. Who knows how long they've been up there? And this is a lot more atmospheric than Something Borrowed, because that was some sappy love story between two people that, are like, oh, they're too clueless to see what's going on. But again, that's how it is. This is a different genre movie. Let me lie down a little bit because it's a long film. It's not that long. Like some of the other movies are way longer. Like Aliens is like 2.5 hours. Because again, James Cameron cannot make a short movie. His shortest is probably Piranha 2: The Spawning, which is not really a James Cameron movie. It's like a cheap, low budget B movie sequel to a 70s cult classic, which is way better because it's not. It's a much better movie. The '78 Piranha. The Piranha 2: The Spawning is horrible. It really is. It's horrible. I don't know yet. I miss Ian Holm, but they didn't have to CGI him. They could have had another android that looked like him, or just an actor that looked like him. Or just don't put the android in there at all. We know what Alien looks like. All you need is a likable cast, good writing, and a xenomorph. That's all you need. You don't need a bunch of CGI references to the other films. Silicon. A woman, yeah. 45 minutes in, and the alien still hasn't shown up yet. It was just the face hugger. See, I told you it's a slow burn, just like Jaws and the original Superman. Star Wars is a different. That's a different story because that movie does not slow down. A New Hope is a way faster pace than this. It took it off. It got off his face because it already impregnated his mouth. Oh, a jump scare. Yeah, it's one of the few jump scares in the movie. The corner. Again, another jump scare. So it's rubber. There's two jump scares in the same scene. Nowadays, that's all people do. And look at that, he's digging into it. Yep. She used the door to close it. I know how you feel, Tom. Scared. Yeah, because this movie is, they're on this planet that, they don't understand, and one of their crew members is in a coma, and then when he wakes up, he dies, just a few minutes later. The score is amazing. We're 52 minutes in, almost an hour. Too late for that. Hmm. And here comes the scene, the most iconic scene of the movie. He was in Harry Potter, John Hurt, before he passed away. Because he homed the Lord of the Rings and had a cameo in The Hobbit, the first Hobbit movie. Here it is. Yay, we're having food, and then bam, it just hits you. No one saw this coming. 'Cause it just comes out of nowhere. That's why it's so creepy. You think he's choking, he's not. No, he's not choking. It's festering inside him. This effect is still scary. 55 minutes in, we get this scene. This iconic scene that made people sick in the theater. Because before that, it was just a lot of slow build up. Here comes the splash. Even the actors didn't see this coming. Yep, right in the face. That was just a little bit of blood. Yep, there it is. Yep, again, they didn't see that coming. There's the baby chest burster. It's an amazing effect. That is awesome. Of course, don't touch it. It runs away. Look at this little thing. Watch. Yeah, whee! Yeah, that scene made people sick in the theater. They probably didn't eat for a week after seeing that. Don't worry, guys. No, COVID can't do that to your stomach. It affects your immune system more than your stomach. Because I had it and it didn't affect my stomach. Because the actors didn't expect that. Because Ridley Scott didn't tell them that was going to happen. Ugh. I could shut this off. I'll survive without it. Just for a couple of minutes. Yeah, you can't do this scene again and do it the same way. Because again, John Hurt's dead. And a lot of the half of the cast is gone. And Ridley Scott hasn't been the same director since Gladiator. That was the last movie he made that won Best Picture. After that, he just did a bunch of garbage and underwhelming movies. And I haven't seen The Martian, but I heard it's good. But there's like two cuts of it. Rest in peace, John Hurt. We miss you, man. Have to throw his body into space. Because again, you can't bury somebody in space. There's no ground. That's one down and 5 to go. The most iconic scene in the movie, and it's almost halfway through the film. Just like the chicken jockey scene in um in a Minecraft movie. It's not until like an hour and 10 minutes into the movie. And this thing grows fast. It goes from an egg to a baby into a giant, adult xenomorph. Because Covenant really tried to be like this movie and it failed. I know because I saw it. It had bad CGI xenomorphs, characters we don't care about, a gay couple. I don't know why that was in the movie because you don't need that in space. That doesn't make any sense. There shouldn't be affiliations in space. And the ending is dumb. It's a downbeat ending that doesn't make any sense. That's why the next movie ignored Prometheus and Alien Covenant. And Ridley Scott, stop trying to rape this franchise. You've done enough damage. This is the only one that you did that people love. Yeah, who knew? I mean, this franchise was passed down to every different director, every entry. Aliens was James Cameron. Alien 3 was a different director. It was freaking what was his name? David Fincher, who disowned it because the studio got in the way. And then 4 was a French director I never heard of, and then AVP, etc. That was different directors. We're an hour in, and the chat's kind of dead, so I guess I could shut it off. There. I shut off the chat. I'll turn the chat back on when it's over, because it won't matter after that. It's kind of dead. Yesterday there wasn't much people in the chat either, because the movie was a romantic comedy and nobody saw it that has ever heard of it. This movie a lot of people have heard of. The cat. Get out of here. Yeah, it's a real cat. There's no puppet or anything or CG. It was good that Harry Dean Stanton was in a cameo in the Avengers, where he sees Bruce Banner. He said, "Are you an alien?" I'm like, it's a nice nod, because Joss Whedon loves to reference other things, but yeah, this scene was scary. I saw this as a kid, and it was like it's because it's so isolated. And there's nowhere to run. If they were on Earth, they could run away, but here in space, they can't. I'm shocked this cat doesn't get killed. And this thing again, it comes out of nowhere when you first see it. I had tension watching this scene for the first time when I was a kid, because I love sci-fi, but I didn't see the thing coming like that, and I didn't even know what it looked like. Trying to warn him that the alien is there. It shed its skin, look, like a snake. See, this is filmmaking 101. Atmosphere. Bring tension, because if we don't feel any tension, then when they get attacked, it means nothing. Nowadays, they have to throw everything in your face instead of having tension. No matter what kind of tension it is, you have to have some tension to build suspense and, get you invested. The Comic Con general on sale is in 30 minutes. Of course, my sister's going to get my badge for me, so. That's crazy, the water. That water does feel good when it's hot outside. Remember when filmmakers actually told a story without preaching about it? There's a cat. See, it's right behind you. There it is. There's the tail. There it is, right behind you. Look at that. It's wet. Yep. And gooey. See, the cat knows that it's there. Yep. There's the mouth. Right in the head. Green eyes on the cat. See? And the kill is quick. It doesn't go on for 5 minutes like some horror movies where they can't kill somebody just once. They have to they have to stretch it out. Even the Ninja Turtles cartoon referenced the xenomorphs. There was an episode where there were the pizza monsters that they looked like yellow xenomorphs. If you played Turtles in Time, the arcade version or the Super Nintendo version, that those things show up. And even as a kid, I know what they were referencing. That's a shot straight out of Star Wars, where the ship is going right in front of the camera, even though this is an hour in. An hour and 9 minutes. Terminate Alien. Guess they had computers back in '79, but not the internet. Does not compute. That vent is so claustrophobic. Flamethrower. That's used more in the sequel in Aliens. This movie's so isolated. It's perfect to watch during the pandemic because, a lot of movies were isolated in 2020 and 2021. It hugs and goes, and you don't see it. Some of the deaths are off screen, but at least you cared about these people. Mostly. This flamethrower scene reminds me of the flamethrower scene in Ballerina. That was pretty awesome. That's why the movie made its budget back. At least I'm happy about that. It made 100 million worldwide on a budget of 90, so that's not a flop. It didn't make $1 billion, but it's not. It's still doing better than Thunderbolts because it costs less, and it is a better movie because it's shorter. Well, actually, no, wait. I think it's around the same running time, but it's still a better movie. It's R-rated. That's something Thunderbolts needed. Because a censored PG-13, you can't show the anguish of somebody in a PG-13. It's just not gonna work. That would be like if Silver Linings Playbook was PG-13. It wouldn't work. It's not. Stop beeping. Here it comes. It's almost there. Here it comes. Right there it is. Oh my god. That came out of nowhere. It's like Jurassic Park. Yep. We don't even see him get eaten. He just gets killed off screen. Well, she had a good idea there. This is great, man. See, this has a strong woman character that doesn't have to be a Superman, a Supergirl. Look at those lights. Science and ability to neutralize alien, unable to clarify. Storm will reroute it to new coordinates. Escapes life form. So he doesn't show emotion because she's great. Sigourney Weaver's a legend, man. She's a living legend, and shame on you, James Cameron, for wasting her in Avatar. This woman can act in the flesh. Why would you make her a CGI cat? Just because she worked with the cat in Aliens? What is wrong with you? Seriously. What kind of drugs were you on when you made Avatar? I made the greatest movie of all time. No, you made a CGI cartoon with blue cats and people doing accents and weird words like unobtainium. What kind of crack were you smoking, dude? Like, you're insulting the great James Cameron. He hasn't made a good movie in a long time, guys. I haven't seen Titanic. I'm not going to say anything about it. Look, he's leaking milk. This is weird. He's not human. He tries to choke her. I'm leaking milk, even though he's not a woman. This I didn't see coming either, but I'm like, he literally is spitting out milk. You know, you could have just broke her neck or something, but he's stupid. He's an android. Doesn't have any. He has AI, artificial intelligence, not real intelligence. That's what the human brain has over AI. We can think for ourselves. AI has to be programmed to think. Yeah, instead of throwing her, you could have broken her neck or bit her neck or something. But he's not a vampire, so I don't understand why there's naked women on the walls in that scene. Doesn't make any sense. He's leaking milk. They didn't do that in Blade Runner or any of the other films. Because I'm like leaking milk. Yeah, they James Cameron doesn't use milk in his movies, except in one film, and that's uh, Terminator 2. But the characters don't leak milk. Like when the guy's about to drink milk and then he gets the T-1000 cuts him right in the mouth. I'm gonna choke you with a magazine. Who chokes somebody with a magazine? People don't even read magazines anymore. Yep, he's spitting out milk. This is the most laughable scene in the movie. Look, he's having a seizure. And it's like, what's this? What the hell is that? He's spitting out milk. Yeah, decapitation. So it's like in the Druid robots in Halloween 3. It's a great practical effect, but the milk spitting out milk scene is that's laughable, man. He's not even a woman. It's like he's not human. This choice would have been spoiled. Android, like Vision in Age of Ultron's. It's still alive. It's a great effect. That thing would have terrified me. Yeah, this happens that they do the same decapitation scene in Halloween 3. I'm like, the girl was a robot this whole time? Yeah. In a Halloween movie? This effect is great, but the milk is just, it's a bit much. I'm like, Ridley Scott is weird. He's a weird director. His movies are visually impressive, and a lot of the acting is good, but the effects in this movie are fine. But the spitting milk thing, I'm like, it's not scary. Spitting milk is not scary. That's just Ian Holmes' head inside of a table, and he starts talking, and then they burn him. They did the same scene in Alien 3. Ugh, I'm leaking milk. Not scary, guys. Milk has never been. Why is milk scary? It's not. Remember the scene in The Last Jedi? Yeah. Or A New Hope where they're drinking milk? Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't make milk coming out of somebody's mouth artsy. It's gonna look laughable. I think they don't have a scene like this in Aliens. I remember that. There's no milk spilling scene like that. 86 minutes in. Delusions of morality. You heard that here, folks. But they still die, except for Ripley and the cat. Of course, he burns him. So we didn't need to see Ash again after this. We burn, Brit, burn. Yep. See, it's not a human skin. It's synthetic. Here we go. The third act of the film is coming up. We're almost 90 minutes in. A few more seconds, and there we go. 90 minutes. We still got about 20 minutes left, like 20 some minutes. I would say this movie is too long, but it's not. Aliens is much longer because it's like 2.5 hours. Again, because James Cameron's never made a short movie. In the 80s, he did, but after that, he was like, nope, every movie I do has to be over 2 hours, whether you like it or not. Well, I don't like it. Okay, it's too much. Another jump scare. It's a real cat. She's holding a real cat. That's what they took in Captain Marvel, except that Goose was an alien cat that can, it had tentacles that can come out of its mouth. Here it comes. There's the xenomorph. They show the shadows a lot, I notice. Mm-hmm. This thing has screen presence. It's pretty tall, too. Yep, it whipped him with the tail. It crushes his head first. Right in the chest. So it's slowly coming towards her and she doesn't run away. You could have ran away. But they have to die before the end credits. Ellen Ripley's the only survivor. Her and the cat. Mm-hmm. They're both dead. She is all that's left. They try to copy this in Alien Covenant. Well, not Alien Covenant. In Prometheus, and it failed because we don't care about Newman Pace's character, whatever her name is, Shaw or whatever. She dies. In the next movie, she's dead. Ridley Scott didn't even keep her alive. He's like, "Oh, you liked her? She's gonna be dead halfway through Alien Covenant with no explanation whatsoever." That's not a good sequel. Good sequels bring back the characters that they like, not kill them off screen. And this franchise did it worse than any of the other ones because Predator did not kill off Arnold in Predator 2 or Predators or The Predator. Those movies had problems, but killing off a major character from the original films is not one of them. Even Prey did its own thing. That's what I liked about Prey. They had a new cast. It was not in space. It was in like Native American, reservations or whatever in the land, and it was different. That's why it worked. And it was on streaming. It wasn't even in theaters. I have to put the air back on. It's too hot today. Time for the thing to blow up. Like the Death Star at the end of Star Wars. 5 minutes. She thinks she blew it up, but no, because the alien goes on the shuttle as well. No, I'll see that later. There's the flashy lights. Yeah, I remember this. 3 minutes. There it is. That is creepy, man. So you're scared of this thing. You're not scared of a xenomorph when they're CGI. It's not really there. In Romulus, at least they got back to the guys in suits. That looks amazing compared to a bad CGI xenomorph humping a helicopter or whatever, or a plane. That's not scary, guys. Or they look albino, like in Covenant. 1 minute, and then kaplooey. "24, 22, 22." The ticking clock. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yep. So, she has to get out of there. Yeah, it's like the Death Star. No one was on it. Like, Luke had to just destroy it before the Empire could cause any more damage in the film. POV shot. Movie's so iconic, man. I'm glad I finally did it, but I'm not doing the others for a while. I'll see the director's cut of Aliens. I haven't seen the assembly cut of 3, but 3 is just a miserable experience. It's not fun. It's just Ripley dies in both cuts, and it's downbeat. The prisoners are not likable. They kill off Newton Hicks in the beginning of the movie. That's in both cuts of the film, so it's not like the assembly cut fixes that problem. It does not. "100 minutes." I'm so glad this movie was under 2 hours because the sequel was not, or any of the sequels after that. Most of them were about 2 hours. How long is Alien Resurrection? An hour and 49, so it's a little shorter. A little. This one is 101 minutes. So yeah, most of the films got shorter, but not Aliens and Alien 3. They mostly were. Well, Aliens was over 2 hours, and Alien 3 was like an hour and 50, the theatrical cut. You don't need an Alien movie to be over 2 hours. There's not enough story to tell in 2 hours. This one did it in under 2 hours. The theatrical cut, that is. Because the extended cut is probably like 2 hours and 5 minutes or something like that. It's not about length, it's about content. My YouTube videos are usually short, but the content is going to last forever. It doesn't have to be 2 hours. Come on, Ripley, get out of there. You think the new Fantastic Four is going to be better than this? Hell no. It's going to be PG-13, goofy, and not scary at all. The scariest thing in that movie is the Galactus' shadow. She goes to the shuttle. by herself with no other people, because everybody else is dead. Only one of them didn't get killed by the alien, and that was Ash, because he wasn't human. You know what else reminded me of this scene in Independence Day? The ship looks like this, the shuttle. Yeah, it looks just like that. It's just painted black and gray. And she hasn't eaten for days, so she's probably exhausted. You know, she her body is probably like shutting down. By Nostromo, it's a good effect. Yep, it has a flash of light, just like the Death Star. Except that wasn't a self-destruct. They had to shoot a proton torpedo in it to kill it. Great effect. Woo! It's not the end, though. You think that's over, but it's not over. There's the kitty. Who's a good kitty? That's all she has, her pussy cat. I couldn't snuggle a cat because I'm allergic. I wish I could, but I can't. A dog I can, or any other animals, but not cats of any kind. Because why do you think the movie still keeps going? Because it's not over yet. Is when she straps that down. Panty shot. She could go back to sleep till she gets back to Earth. She's super thin, man. You wouldn't see this in an alien movie today because people are so afraid of showing a woman's body, even though it is a work of art. There's nothing to hide. Yep, I'm still here, baby. It was hiding in the ship. She has to go in the spacesuit and then launch it out into the airlock, and then that's it. And there's still tension because she's all by herself. She has no one to protect her. The hobo wasn't all by herself. Half the time she had other people around her. Just saying. And would have it mattered? You know, she can do everything, so that's why we hate that character. We love this character because she's got no weapons. She's not a superhero, and she's terrified of this thing, but she doesn't back down. She takes it out. There's no music. It's just imagery, really creepy imagery. Her bosoms are coming right out. Again, they didn't do this in Prometheus or Alien Covenant because, again, oh my god, a woman's legs, let's hide them. What are you, Amish or something? No. You don't have to hide the human body. It's not something that should be ashamed of. I'm not saying you have to run around naked, but you don't have to hide everything. There's the mouth. The gooey tongue. You can't replicate this scene. Not even in Alien 3 when it goes on her face, but it doesn't kill her because, again, the xenomorph is dumb in that movie. Plus, this is an alien from a foreigner's point of view, because none of the Alien films were directed by until Fincher made one, which he's American. Most of the directors were not American, because you had Ridley Scott with this one, and then he had James Cameron, who's Canadian. Then you had a French director for Alien Resurrection. So yeah, most of these movies are not directed by an American. John McTiernan was when he did Predator and Predator 2. Was it Stephen Hopkins or whatever? Yeah. So the Predator franchise was mostly directed by American directors, but not the Alien franchise for some reason. The Predator was Shane Black, but even though that was studio interfered, Prey was directed by an American, I think. So yeah. Yeah, space. And this movie doesn't drag like the first Star Trek movie, the motion picture, which I get why it's so slow, but again, it could have been shorter. An hour and 50 minutes in. And the Predator blows itself up in the first movie. It laughs and then it does the self-destruct. Yeah, that's kind of silly, but again, it's an 80s film. This is a 70s film. Yep, gotcha. Smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire. That screech is really scary, man. Yes, sir. Let that thing out. Yep, here it goes. Whee! Right out the airlock. Yep, right to the... Bye! There it is. It's out in space now. It went into the exhaust pipe. Yep, incinerated. See, he got it. She got him. Yep, this Stromore. This is her speech. Mm-hmm. Wow. A month and a half. Ellen Ripley. Mm-hmm. Last survivor. Mm-hmm. Signing off and ending this classic movie. I don't know how the director's cut ends, but I'll see it eventually. I just want to rewatch the films. I'll rewatch. I'm going to see Aliens director's cut and probably the assembly cut of Alien 3, but I'm not doing a podcast for it. And then Resurrection, I could do a podcast for that. Uh, she sleeps and then the movie ends. And that's it. That was Alien 1979. Still a classic to this day, and it has not been topped. An hour and 53 minutes, too. See? The same running time as Thunderbolt, and yet it left a bigger impact and became a franchise. Thunderbolt is never getting a sequel. This got several of them. Hit and miss, but at least it got a franchise out of it that people still regard to this. It's still high regarded to this day, even after all these years. That's why people keep dressing up as alien characters. It's a classic. It's almost untouchable. It's just a little slow. That's all. But thanks for watching. The few you I said did acknowledge me, and tomorrow I will be doing Swindle, but I'm gonna do it later on. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.